Okay, so we're just going to try to time it up here. Just to again, there's the first thing we're working on. Again, you're actually physically watching that spot right now. Now, look how much straighter your swing is right there. Okay, versus that right there. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but it is. It's enough to make it that I can see it, and if I can see it, it must be a little something, right? It's not like I have the greatest eyes in the world. Now, when we finish it, here's where we're going to see an even bigger difference. Now, both of these shots are pretty quiet right here. Look how quiet your head is right there during the hit zone. Now you moved it to get there. Don't get me. Okay, you can see that it moved to get there, but it's still in a good position. So we did move it to get there. Okay, but once we got here, I thought I was going to see a little less shoulder turn, but it looks pretty close to the same, doesn't it? And to the inside it goes. And you're losing balance. Why are we losing balance? Is it just because you're looking down and looking up? You think maybe that's what it is?
When I go to throw it, it just kind of like feels like there's too much weight, I guess, on the right side.
Too much weight on the right side? All right, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a couple of drills. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them to you. Let's do this because that's where we can really isolate movement. Okay. Here's the two drills that I. No problem. Bring it up. Bring it over. Make it bigger. This is one of the. I don't know if you know who this is, but her name is Verity Crawley. She led the ITC singles last year on the women as a junior. She led the Queens tournament this year in qualifying. So she's an extremely talented bowler. Very dynamic in her form as well. Very similar to yours in its overall backswing. And we do these drills every day. As I was just giving him a ration because she's new to the program, and his job is to make sure that she does the drills and does them right because I put him in charge of her. Okay. So we're very serious about the drills because they work. Okay. So again, this is the finish drill. So she's just getting at the foul line in her finished position. Swing the ball up, let it come back down, and keep everything nice and quiet, and just deliver the ball to the floor. Stay nice and quiet. So again, trying to keep things from moving that aren't supposed to be moving, and let the pieces that are supposed to move. Well, in the finish, what's supposed to be moving is the arm. Okay, It's the only thing it should be moving. When we get into the swing and slide, now we're going to add a step to that. So now she's going to get the ball at the top of the swing, and then she's going to step into it and then come through. Okay? But again, keeping things very, very quiet. Trust me when I tell you, she moved her head like it was a windshield wiper when she first got here. Okay? So we do these two drills, and again, I just want you to get comfortable with them. Verity is her name. So this is when she first got here. So again, a great big long push away. That's been changed. And she was pretty quiet there, wasn't she? So again, you can see she got a big backswing. She got, again, the balance beam going forward. Good angles right here. And she gets to the bottom of the swing and the elbow pops to the inside right there. And then her hand delivers it, but you see the ball is outside of her head. And that's a no-no in my program. It's a no-no. The ball is always to the inside of the head as we finish. And that's what we see going on right here, don't we? The ball is to the inside of the head as opposed to the outside of the head. Okay? So again, these drills have gotten her into those positions. Let's get a little more current. Sometime today, okay? Come on. Here we go. Over crosses. That's another big thing. She was a lot worse than that, too, at the beginning. Or her moments. There's. Not quite as good as the drills, but better than what we see here. So again, it just gets better and better as time goes on. Again, when she's sort of like you. When she finishes, she fakes it and keeps moving this way. It makes it look like really good with the finish. As opposed to, this is the moment of truth, is right here in the spot right here, the hit zone right here. This is where everything happens. Okay? So that's where things have to be. That's why we do the drills, trying to get everything to happen in the right spot. But it's, again, when things aren't moving, it's easier to focus on those things, okay? So let's do these two drills. We're going to do this is called the finish drill, and this is called the swing and slide drill, okay? So we're going to work on those two with you and see if we can't get a little less, just get a feel for not moving the head, okay? If we get a feel for that, then that'll help you grow into it, okay? And our philosophy here is you practice what you do. So if you're practicing not to move your head, eventually that's what you're going to do, is not move your head, okay? And that movement or the lack of movement there is so important for most bowlers. Again, touring pros, Triamletto, Barnes, how about Cameron Doyle? You know who that is? Okay. Let's try. We got a front view of him. It looks like we do. Well, we've seen Fagan. His head doesn't move. How about Pete Weber? Let's see what he does. I don't know if he moves his head or not. I've never put him to the test. My guess is he doesn't, though. See how quiet it is? Elbow to the inside. Not bad for an old guy. Here's the opposite end of that spectrum. He's 50 and he's 15. Surprised we didn't take a video of him having lunch. So there's that hand position we're talking about putting you in. See his palm go to the ceiling. There you go. Is that his tongue sticking out? I think it is. Yeah, something's going on. Yeah. Wonder if he knows he does that. I bet he does. Nothing else. I have something to rag on him about. And then, of course, the purest bowler of all time. See how quiet everything is? Okay. So all I'm asking you to do is what the best in the world are doing. Not too big of a task, is it? Come on, match up to the best in the world. You can do that. That's where we're trying to go, right? Okay. Well, I know that he didn't, and I know that he didn't, and I know that he didn't have the toys that he's getting a chance, and you're getting a chance to see. So he just did through, well, I'm just kind of watching so-and-so bowl. Let me go copy that or some version of that. And my guess is he was copying Mark Roth, but I don't know that for a fact. Barnes, I'm not sure. He was taught how to bowl at Wichita State. Gordon Vatican, maybe, he's a Hall of Fame coach, so obviously he's quite good. God only knows how many championships the man has got under his belt, but it's way, way up there. Okay. And of course, Amleto is one of the best bowlers in the world, and still is. Great shape. He keeps his body in great shape. Petey looks like he's in good shape, but he's not. He's just naturally that way. He works at keeping his body in shape. Big difference. So he's going to outperform Petey long term, my guess. Both of them staying healthy. That's the upside of Petey is he's never not been healthy. He's never hurt himself bowling. And he wasn't supposed to make it to 30. So, that shows you how stupid we were back in those days, with that style, you'll never survive. You'll rip your rotator cuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, why doesn't he rip his rotator cuff? Because he opens up his shoulders, okay? If he was closed-shouldered, yeah, he's going to rip it open. But because he opens his shoulder, now that allows that to open up with no pressure, no stress. What you try to do from that position and get the backswing up over your head, you're going to hurt something, okay? So, again, we were just putting everybody in a small little box and saying, this is what you got to do. And you don't do that, so therefore something bad's going to happen, But that's just ignorance. So we're well past that now, and actually this style is the style of the contemporary style because the environment has actually allowed and made it mandatory to throw the ball at 18 miles an hour, which is what you're doing. Not in my day. You never threw at 18 miles an hour, okay? You were trying for 17 was kind of the max number. Not that we knew that, but that was kind of what it was. Not that we've had the availability to look at it on TV and measure it, even from the old days. But, these guys are throwing at 19, 20, 21 off their hand, and the ball's slowing down to 18. When our balls were slowing down to 14. So we were starting at 17, ending up at 14, maybe even 13, in our day because that was the only style that worked. You threw the ball that fast in my day and it just went 60 feet and never did a daggone thing. So again, environment is the mother of the invention that says, well, if this is what you're up against, this is what we're going to do to compete. And that's what humans are extremely good at, is figuring out what works. Well, what happens if? What happens if? What happens if? Well, here we are, 30 years down the road, and Petey's style that was going to hurt him is actually the preferred style. And and it's exactly what you do. But here's all these guys that got some version of it, don't they? Okay? Everybody's got a version of Pete Weber. So it's amazing the power of visualization. Again, when you see it and you say, okay, I want to do it like that, you kind of do things through your memory banks, but not everything gets caught up, and everybody's built a little bit differently. So there's going to be some small tweaks because of what your body's capable of doing versus what his body naturally is capable of doing. Okay, so it's not going to be, again, we're all seeing the same kind of picture here, but they all still look different, don't they? So yeah, they're all the same, but yet none of them are the same. Okay, and that's where we're trying to take you. All right, so it's just more a matter of what do we got to do. And again, where's his arm versus his arm versus his arm and his arm? They're all in different locations. His is high, his is medium, and his is low, and his is a little bit above low. So they're not the same. This hand position here is, again, he's thumb to the floor, he's back of the hand to the floor. He's more thumb to the floor, isn't he? Now he turns in the palm facing up and keeps it there. And that's what we teach. Again, look at that shoulder stay in and the arm go away. But what ends up happening is this shoulder comes underneath, and that's where we're, again, swing underneath the head. Okay? And that again allows the swing that originates from behind the head to stay in that position. And that's what we're looking for. Again, it's maybe even a slight inside out, which you naturally have. So I don't want to get caught up in, we got to get rid of that little bit of that little bit of angle, because chances are you don't have to get rid of it. Okay? Because inside out is the name of the game. Now, too much of it, of course, has TOO in the sentence, doesn't it? Not a good thing. So we don't want to get too carried away with it. So we need to have a controller of it. And that's what the balance arm actually becomes, is a controller. Okay? It controls the shoulders, which controls how much this arm and this other shoulder can get in front. And that's what we're trying to prevent, is not to get in front, but to come under. And in my opinion, nobody does it better than Barnes. Again, Petey's kind of is a natural, but again, you see how he gets it really quiet there, and he just stops. Before he throws it, it just stops. And then he finishes. So look at his angles when he finishes versus his angles. Again, he's a little more closed, isn't he? Petey's a little more open. So Amleto is going to probably be a little bit more closed than Petey. And I know he is. But to me, he's more open than he is. Of course, he's playing a lot further inside. They're both playing a lot further inside. But Barnes, again, this natural position of ball to the inside makes the ball want to go away from you. Okay, just that position says the ball is going to go away because the elbow will stay inside. And if the elbow stays inside and the hand goes around, that sends the ball away from you. That motion that the hand produces says the ball is going to go to the right. And that's where the mistake room is away from us, okay, most of the time. Now, how much of it is away is all dependent on the environment, isn't it? So right now, we don't have much away to get by with. So it's almost like its tug is going to be my best scenario. But I promise you the ball is still going to go away from you from the moment it leaves your hand to the moment it gets to the break point. It will travel from left to right. Maybe not a whole lot, but it will be traveling from left to right. Okay? And again, that natural ability. So again, where we slide should equal where the ball lays down, shouldn't it? This relationship right here should be right on top of each other, shot after shot after shot after shot. Doesn't matter if you're playing first arrow, second arrow, third arrow, fourth arrow, fifth arrow, sixth arrow. That ball to ankle relationship is going to maintain its integrity. Okay, so if you know where you're sliding, then you know where the laydown point was. If you know where the laydown point was and you see the ball going across the arrows where you're looking, you're going to know that relationship, and then you're going to follow the ball down the lane to the break point, and you're going to get really good at analyzing your. You become your own cat's machine, which is what we saw at the beginning of the day. Here was your laydown point, here was your at the arrows, here was your spot at the break point, and here's your recovery. And did I get it there? Didn't I get it there? Well, one time at 8 board, it made it at 7, it didn't. You'll know not to get to 8. 8's your furthest point to the right, and you get 3 boards of area. So that means you have 8, 9, and 10. So you got to get your body in a position to says, I need to move a little bit left so I can take advantage of 9 and 10. And not get it to 7 because the pattern is going to say 7 won't get me there. I got to move to make 8, 9, or 9, 10 work for me and still have 8 available to me. Okay? If 8 goes flush and 7 misses real light, that's too much of a variable. That means you're borderline. And then you hit 7 again and you miss a head pin, you got to move closer to the pocket. Okay? If we're in fresh environment, which is what we're in right now. Now, if the lane was broken down, I might say open up the lane and move your feet left and your eyes right and take advantage of the burn that's out there on the lane and see if that doesn't work, and a lot of times that'll work. So again, it's all situational. You got, as a bowler, you got to understand the situation and then respond to it in the right way with the moves that you make and the adjustments that you make. Okay, so right now on fresh, we're going to try to play a little straighter line would be the concept, as opposed to burn when we're going to open up, and that usually takes about 2 games of competition. Okay, now again, team competition where you got 5 guys on a lane, 10 guys bowling, that may only take 5 frames, and all of a sudden it starts to happen. Okay, so again, you got to watch the equipment that they're using. How many of you are playing the same part of the lane that you are, and now we got to factor in breakdown. Okay. All right. So that's kind of going off on the beaten path there a little bit, but again, we're just going to do the drills here and then get good at them, get a good feeling for them, so you can go home and practice them. And with the concept of not moving the head in the hit zone. Okay, that's what it's about.